Now, once upon a time, all of these names were commodity names. It's a boom and bust cycle. But is it possible that we are actually entering a phase where these names are completely re-rated, that the bust part of the cycle is gone, dampened, lessened?
Well, if it's a super cycle, it has room for, I think, a lot of demand for a longer period of time and a higher growth rate, and therefore a sustainable growth rate, which means it re-rates. And if you look at the multiples on these stocks, they have re-rated. I mean, no place to look other than Micron, which was always one of these value plays that you didn't want to buy it when it's cheap. And it's funny because, like commodities, we're going to talk about commodities as we talk to the rest of the world. You don't really buy commodity companies when they're cheap either. And I think that's how one should feel about what's going on in the tech space. And I mean specifically around what's going on in storage. And I just think it's fascinating for all that's been said about the tech trade and what's been around the AI build out. Semiconductors make not only new all-time highs, so just the semiconductor portion of it, even without NVIDIA really exerting muscle, making all-time highs today, making new relative highs, and Guy up almost 13% against the S&P since Thanksgiving.
Gobble, gobble,
gobble, gobble. So, for all that's been said about what happened to this trade, it's just shifted to other players. And if you look down into that SMH or the Semiconductor Stocks Index and the weightings in there, some of these names aren't big weightings, at least relative to the top of the leaderboard in there. And I think there's even some more room to go.
Should there be a handoff, though? I mean, if you have NVIDIA for the past, I don't know what you want to call 10 weeks or so, just sort of bumping along, not doing much, and there's skepticism around that part of the trade, can you actually see these storage names go higher anyway? Or should they trade more in tandem?
Well, I'll say this. I did not see the move in Micron. I mean, this move in Micron is historic by any standard. And to your point, you go back, do a long-term chart of Micron, and you'll see boom and bust, highly cyclical, makes sense. When it's its cheapest on valuation, it's typically when you want to avoid it. Now, seemingly, everything's changed. There's this new paradigm. But when a stock goes from basically, I want to say $120 4 or 5 months ago to where it is now, in this environment with that type of backdrop, again, highly commoditized, highly cyclical, I think that's a little problematic. What the stock market is saying, it's different this time. I'm not entirely sure that it is.
Yeah, and on the cyclicality front, I mean, these are not that difficult to make. I mean, that's a big part of it, right? The memory, right? So when you think about relative to, let's say, high-end GPUs, and really, this is about performance. It's about, a whole host of things by making these chips more efficient. And that's really where the memory, the storage, that sort of stuff comes into. So that's one of the reasons why I think they've always traded at these multiples. When you think about what's going on right now, and you think about from a stock market perspective, okay, NVIDIA has really calmed down. On a day like today, with all of those announcements, with the bullishness out of Jensen Huang, you'd think the stock would trade better. It's still trading in this range that it's been in really since August. And, listen, there's a case to be made if Masa at SoftBank is selling his NVIDIA so he can buy other things like OpenAI. It doesn't, should not come as a huge surprise that other investors are doing the same thing. I just think the action that's going on in like a SanDisk or Western Digital or Seagate, it just doesn't feel that natural, right? And so if you're seeing a stalling out of some of these other names, the flip side of that is all this is great for Taiwan Semi, right? I know that's a name that you've been very focused on, Tim. Taiwan Semi had been range bound. It just broke out on this, right? So everything comes up roses for Taiwan Semi, but some of these other names, I just don't know how you can go out and chase them. And SanDisk in particular, I don't know if people are short this thing. I don't know if it's something technical with the spin out of Western Digital. They're one of the large shareholders, but that looks like an all-out frenzy, like a short squeeze.
See, I'm with you, Dan. I'm not a bottom-up stock picker, so I know what I don't know, but I look at the move in the stock, I'm saying I don't understand how that continues. I don't even understand how it got here. So to me, it seems like there is a very healthy rotation going on between some of these names and a spreading out of the market, which I think is great news because that can help us avoid a bubble bursting ultimately. But we still have the risks that some of these companies that are not making profits yet struggle at some point over the next 12, 18 months to raise the cash they need to get to the holy ground on the other side. Everything's going down together. And if that happens, do you want to be chasing a name that is, at the end of the day, very commoditized? So if you held it and you enjoyed this, good for you. Would I want to buy it here and keep chasing it? Not with what I know could be ahead of us.